Sindhu Bhyavacha Patitanam Pavani. Haribol.
Turn it off. I'm going to turn it off right now.
Okay, it's off. All right, turn that off. Sure. Okay. Haribol. Thank you for visiting. It gets kind of lonely here in the morning. All right. All right, we are live. Jai Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari Gopinath Malabha Iti Bharadati Gopinath Malabha Iti Bharadati Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Jamuna Ravanachari Yamunate Ravanachati Jai Urad Umadhava Kunya Vihari Jai Urad Umadhava Kunya Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Iri Valadhari Gopijana Vallabha Iri Valadhari Yasodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yasodhanandana Vraja Jaranjana Jamunatira Manachari Yamunatira Manachari Jai Urad Umadhava Kunyabihagutri Jai Urad Umadhava Kunjabihagutri Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravatakacharya All Sutata Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Sabaya Charanada Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhupada Shitweda Gadadha Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radhakrishna Gopikapada Shyam Kunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Maturadam Ki Jai Jagadada Sami Ki Jai Munmai Ki Jai Srimati Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namadi Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nivashesha Shunyavadi Paschata Dejatarni. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, 31st chapter, text 16. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Pati Sutanvaya Vratri Bandhavan Ati Vilangya Te Anti Achutagataha Gati Vedas Tavodgita Mahohitaha Gitava Yoshitaha Kas Jajan Nishi Patisutanvaya Ratrirvandhavan Ati Vilangya Tencha Chutagataha Gati Vedastavod Gita Mahohita Ta Kitava Yoshita Kaschajaneshi Fatisutanvaya Vratribandhavan Ati Vilangyaten Jachutagataha Gativedastavo Gita Mohita Kitavayoshita Kascha Janashi Patisutanvaya Vratri Bandhavan Ativilangya Tench Yachuta Tagataha Gativedastavot Gita Mohita Kitavayoshita Kascha Janishi Right? Pati, husbands. Sutta, children. Onvaya, ancestors. Vratri, brothers. Bandhavan, and other relatives. Ativilangya, completely neglecting. Te, your. Ante, into the presence. Achyuta, O infallible one. Agataha, having come. Gate, of our movements. Vidaha, who can understand the purpose. Tava, your. Udgita, by the loud song of the flute. Mohitaha, bewildered. Gitava, O cheater. Yoshitaha, women. Kaha, who? Jajet, would abandon. Nisi, in the night. Dear Achyuta, you know very well why we have come here. Who but a cheater like you would abandon young women who come to see him in the middle of the night, enchanted by the loud song of his flute? Just to see you, we've completely rejected our husbands, children, ancestors, brothers, and other relatives. You can repeat. Dear Achyuta, you know very well why we have come here. Who but a cheater like you would abandon young women who come to see him in the middle of the night, enchanted by the loud song of his flute? Just to see you, we've completely rejected our husbands, children, ancestors, brothers, and other relatives. Phew, pretty heavy. So, there is a purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada from the Madhya Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 19, text 210. So it's appropriate to read Srila Prabhupada's purport. So actually I'll read Prabhupada's translation. Actually the translation is the same. So purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. This verse, quoted from Srimad Bhagavatam 10:31-16, describes how the gopis went to the forest for Krishna's enjoyment in the dead of night. The gopis approached Krishna to enjoy themselves with him in the rasa dance. Krishna knew this very well, but he was superficially trying to avoid them. He is therefore addressed by the gopis as Kitava, a great cheater, because he first attracted them to come dance with him. And yet, when they actually came, neglecting the orders of their friends and relatives, he tried to avoid them by giving them so-called good instructions. These cunning instructions were too much for the gopis to tolerate. They therefore had a right to address Krishna as Kitava, a great cheater. They were all young girls, and they had come to him to be enjoyed. How could he avoid them? The gopis therefore expressed great disappointment in this verse. They came voluntarily, but Krishna was so cunning that he wanted to avoid their company. The gopis' lamentation was certainly very appropriate, and in this way, Krishna tested their sincerity. 210 and Majja 19. So, I was told that Prabhupada did this by Mother Urmila yesterday, by her mercy. So anyway, so it's nice to read Srila Prabhupada's commentary. So before reading the commentaries of the Acharyas, Omagana Timiranda Shah, Gananjana Shalakha Chakshur Meditam Yena Tasmai Shigadave Namaha. I want to comment a little bit about the word Kitava or Kaitava, which means cheating. In the Bhagavatam we have this nice verse, Dharma Projita Kaitava, Nirmatsuranam Satam. So this Bhagavatam actually kicks out all what? Cheating dharma. So what is cheating dharma? And actually the word dharma is really interesting anyway, because Prabhupada translates that word sometimes as that which sustains the essential quality of the thing. Like Prabhupada would talk about how the dharma of water is what? Liquidity. And the dharma of fire is heat. So, of course, we know that water, sometimes listening to a class when Srila Prabhupada was saying, we know that water sometimes assumes a solid form, particularly here in North Carolina during the winter. But this is not the natural state of water, Prabhupada said. The natural state of water is actually liquid. And I think there's examples also given by Bhaktivinoda Thakur that the natural state of the soul is Jivara Swarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. But now we're in an unnatural situation, just like when water is frozen outside, it's an unnatural situation. And when the soul is frozen in Krishna's material energy, it's an unnatural situation. So, anyway, generally Prabhupada would understand dharma as that something, essential quality, something that cannot be separated. So Kaitava dharma, cheating dharma, is basically the opposite. That is teaching something that draws one away from one's actual dharma, just like a guru or bogus guru. In one sense, Prabhupada said, uh, you can't say bogus guru because someone's not, they're not a guru to begin with anyway. So, uh, so what is the different types of cheating dharma? Of course, one cheating dharma is basically encouraging people in material sense gratification. And sometimes we see this in the name of religion, uh, that people are encouraged very much to, if you worship God, you will get, what is that called? Prosperity gospel. Yeah, prosperity gospel. That, you worship God, you will actually become prosperous. But even if you become prosperous, for example, you still have to die. So what's the use of this material prosperity? And then also, one of the biggest types of cheating dharma is this impersonalism. We've been dealing a lot with this in the university, in our preaching in the university. There's actually many, many people who worship Krishna, and ostensibly they appear to be like devotees, but they are actually using Krishna as a stepping stone, or sometimes, like Srila Prabhupada would comment, that they're using the guru. They step on the head of the guru. The guru gets you to a certain place, and then you just kick him away. I don't need you anymore, because, I'm liberated. I am Brahman realized, Gurudev, so, you were good when you lasted. So in the same way, they treat Krishna in the same way, and they appear to be devotees, and they encourage many of their followers. This is very popular at the university, actually. People follow some of these people. They encourage their followers to chant. They have some philosophy that, you're not the body, karma, and all those other nice things. But ultimately, you become Krishna, you merge into Krishna, or you lose your individuality, and that's cheating dharma. So all types of cheating dharma are thrown out by this Bhagavatam, Paramots Nirmatsaram Satam. This Bhagavatam is meant for those who are actually interested in coming to the platform of pure love of Krishna. So that's one type of cheating. But here the gopis, let me put this down because I'm not referring to the Chaitanya Charitamrita anymore. But here the gopis are accusing Krishna of cheating, but actually he's not cheating. Because by his actions, which appear to be cheating, what he's doing is bringing out intense emotions, because that's enjoyment. Bringing out the intense emotions of the gopis. But and what is actually going on here, as far as cheating is concerned, real cheating, is the gopis have transcendentally cheated their husbands and friends and brothers and relatives. Prabhupada actually talked about this transcendental cheating, even in regard to himself. This transcendental cheating. Not that we're encouraging people to be dishonest or cheaters or anything like that. But the process of devotional service is such that one develops Vasudevi Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojita Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanamcha Yada Haitukam, that one develops detachment from this world as well as knowledge about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I was explaining this last night in class, that sometimes people ask, how can you tell whether you're advanced in devotional service? And some people think, well, you'll feel some ecstasy, you'll roll on the ground, you'll see Krishna, whatever. Because I see Krishna on the altar, but last night I spoke to Krishna. Sometimes people are taking certain drugs in the university and they're having visions, and they've been having visions of Krishna. So anyway, might be nice. Anyway, but the symptom of advancement is that you get some knowledge, first of all. So, vairagya, and one gets detached from this world. And the detachment that one gets from this world is not a question of giving something up, but it's a question of having a higher taste. so that one loses interest, and the word in Sanskrit is nirapeksha. One becomes like neutral, like a neutral, oh, why should I do that? It's not interesting to me anymore. And the example I gave last night was like a child growing up. When a child grows up, he loses interest in the things that he used to do when he was young. If you were to come to my house and find me playing with blocks, or etch and sketch, you know what etch and sketch is? Then you would think, Marge is a little regressed here. Psychological regress, you'd probably call a psychiatrist. Of course, sometimes when one gets senior moments, it becomes like that. Playing actually, sometimes they do that in the senior citizens place. They have the people play with blocks and arrange them and everything like that to help them with their cognition. So anyway, when you grow up, you naturally lose interest in the things that you did when you were a kid. That's just a natural consequence of growing up. So in the same way you grow up in Krishna consciousness, the symptom is that you're becoming neutral to the things of this world, and then you're attracted to Krishna too. Vairagya Vijjaniji Bhakti Yoga Shikshartha Ega Purusha Purana Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shriyaradari Kripam Buddhiriyastvam Aham Prapaje. Of course, that's a verse written by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that says, Lord Chaitanya, you've appeared to teach us, to give us knowledge, about the tattvas, like that, and the bhavas and all these other stuff that he's teaching to Sanatana Goswami and to Rupa Goswami. You come to, and then also teaching us about renunciation from this material world. Of course, not falgu vairagya, false renunciation, where you're still attached to things. I mean, that happens too. I've seen this in the movement quite often, that the brahmacharis will all get together and encourage each other in such a way that they think that they're all renounced from the material world. And so they go on like this until they're about 30 or 40 or 50 years old. And then they 50 years old, they discover they're not so renounced from the material world. And then they think, wow, got to get married. Got to find a young girl, who's 50 years old. Anyway, so who hasn't had children before, hasn't been married before. So one should be very practical about these things. So anyway, so the symptom that you're not being cheated is that you're getting detached from this material world. And also, you're experiencing spiritual emotions, like the gopis here. So Krishna was not cheating the gopis. And sometimes in preaching, we're not actually cheating in a, let's say, in a commonly understood sense. But basically, by giving people a book, by letting people hear the holy name, like Prabhupada described it as letting the poison enter the bloodstream, people are not aware. I mean, when I first heard Prabhupada chanting on the radio, I wasn't aware what it was. I was cheated from my material life. I had all my plans to enjoy life. And all of a sudden I heard Prabhupada, boop, he put a pin in my balloon, in my bubble, and just, boom, uh-oh, it's all useless. So that's sort of cheating, isn't it? It's sort of cheating. That's a transcendental cheating. So anyway, so the gopis had done that to their husbands. They cheated on their husbands, not in a illicit way, but they went to join Krishna in the middle of the night. That's cheating, isn't it? From an external point of view, it appears to be like cheating. So, and Krishna also cheated their husbands because he took away their wives. And you find in these stories, especially the stories of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that Krishna is really depicted as someone who keeps cheating Abhimanyu, right? Abhimanyu is Radharani's so-called husband. Actually, she never even came within like several meters of Abhimanyu. But in any case, you have these stories where, one story, of course, the box story where Yashoda Mai is packing up some jewels so Abhimanyu can give some jewels to his wife Radharani. Krishna sees what Yashoda Mai is doing, and Krishna says to his mother, "What are you doing?" She says, "I'm packing these jewels so that Abhimanyu can give them to Radharani." And Krishna says, "Okay." Yashoda Mai leaves the room. Krishna takes the jewels out of the box, jumps into the box. I mean, this is cheating. This guy's a cheater. Isn't it? I mean, you can't think of a worse type of cheating. He jumps in the box. Abhimanyu comes and he thinks, wow, there's so many nice jewels. A heavy box here. Yeah. And he picks up the box. He takes the box to his wife and he says, decorate yourself, my dear, with what's in the box. And then out comes Krishna. Anyway, so Krishna pops out of the box, original Krishna in the box. Krishna pops out of the box, and Radharani says, I have the order of my husband, decorate myself with what's in the box, and what's in the box is Krishna. So Krishna has cheated Abhimanyu. They even have this saying, a common saying, someone has cheated on their wife or something like that, or cheated on their husband. So that's all perverted reflection. Of course, in the material world, we should not cheat. We should be loyal to our wives and husbands, and loyal to our family members, loyal to our spiritual master, loyal to Srila Prabhupada's movement. I mean, that's really very important. So when one's disloyal, that's actually extremely low quality. But in the spiritual world, that disloyalty that the gopis show towards their so-called husbands is actually very high quality. And so there's so many stories of cheating. And there's other stories, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, where Krishna portrays himself as a doctor, as a female doctor to cure Radharani's snake bite, which he's just acting as if he was bitten by a snake. And then also there's that Gaurikund story, where Krishna is dressed up as the deity Gauri, and Radharani is with Krishna. I'm not going to tell the whole story, but Radharani is with Krishna. Well, actually, I can tell more of the story. Anyway, so Radharani is very angry with Krishna, and she doesn't want to see Krishna. So Krishna, in order to associate with Radharani, dresses up with the deity's outfit, the Gauri outfit, and this pastime took place at Gaurikund. He dresses up like that, and with the deity's clothes, and so he's introduced as a lady, and he embraces Radharani. Radharani recognizes it's Krishna. She's happy that Krishna has cheated her in that way. And then Kutila and Jatila and Abhimanyu, they're looking for Radharani and Krishna because they suspect that they're together, and they see their pets outside. Radharani has pets and Krishna has pets, and they see them outside of the Gauri temple. So then they go into the Gauri temple thinking they're going to catch Radharani and Krishna in the act. And so as soon as Radharani sees her husband and mother-in-law and sister-in-law, she faints, and she faints out in like a dandavat position. And Krishna is standing there, and it looks like to them that Radharani is offering dandavats to Gauri, the deity Gauri, because Krishna's dressed up as a lady and he has the Gauri outfit on him. And so Krishna is so intelligent that he starts acting or speaking like Gauri, and he says, as if he were the deity, he says that Abhimanyu, you're going to die because you didn't trust Radharani. You're going to be killed. And so Jatila, she starts praying to the deity who was actually Krishna and saying, Krishna, not, she doesn't say Krishna, she says, Gauri, please forgive my son, please forgive my son. No, no, I will not forgive your son. Your son is going to die. He's committed a great offense. And then Radharani comes back to external consciousness, and she really understands at this point what's going on. And then she gets into the act, and she says, please forgive my husband, Gauri. Please forgive my husband. And Gauri, who was actually Krishna, says, yes, because you are praying he'll be forgiven once, but if he ever distrusts you again, then he's finished. And so then they all leave, and Radha and Krishna are together. So, this is cheating. Krishna's the greatest cheater. It's amazing. Anyway, so I thought I would talk about cheating a little bit. And so in our preaching, we're not cheating people, obviously. We're giving them the best thing. But in our preaching, we simply have to give the medicine in such a way to make it tasty, like prasadam, to make it tasty. And when people hear the holy name and eat the prasadam, then it will act, even if they don't know in the beginning what it is. It will change their consciousness. And that's sometimes cheating for the benefit of someone, isn't it? Just like sometimes with a little child, you have to say, here's some medicine. It tastes really good. Or, here's what we used to do is, here's a rocket ship coming in for a landing. Open their mouth, anyway, whatever. And so the child takes the medicine. So, anyway, so that's cheating. So we don't cheat people, actually. We give them the best thing because we're interested in their welfare, their actual welfare. Whereas everybody else, other than those who are teaching God consciousness, are cheating. And if someone's encouraging people in material upliftment in the name of God consciousness, that's cheating. That's cheating religion. Dharma projitakaitavotra paramo nirmatsuram satam. So the Bhagavatam has no cheating in it. It's simply pure devotional service from the beginning to the end. So, on that happy note, we'll read a little bit of the commentaries of the Acharyas here. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Those who on hearing the flute were locked in the inner rooms of their houses by their husbands, but overcame the obstacles and came to Krishna, then spoke with impatience. Knowing the highest 10th state, we have come to you. Gati, vida, adi, agata. Though we are in this exalted state, you failed to let us see you. So your name, Achyuta, has the opposite meaning. Achyuta means infallible. So you are fallible. So Krishna's just bringing out all these emotions because that's enjoyment. Impersonalism means to negate the emotions, just to ultimately become emotionless. But they're really enjoying this exchange. And then Krishna, this is uh-oh. Hope the destination is back to Godhead. So your name, Achyuta, has the opposite meaning. And this is sort of a conversation that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur posits. Why did you come? hearing your flute and being without discrimination, udgita mohita, we came. If that is so, Krishna speaks, foolish women then tolerate that pain. In other words, you were so foolish to come. Fearing such a statement, the gopis said, "O cheater, who except a merciless person would reject young frightened women who have of their own will come to you at night? No one would do such a thing." Another meaning, "O madman, what young man would reject young women who came here at night? Though you were a cheater, you have been cheated of enjoyment." According to Maidani, the definition, Kaitava can also mean, in addition to being cheater, meaning cheater, it can mean a madman. You're a madman. So Jiva Goswami's commentary, in spite of all this, what you have done today is most improper. We have ignored the instructions of our mothers and fathers, bandhavan, brothers, sons and husbands at the very root, by ignoring all dharma and giving up affection for them. Atik. It means great affection. We have come because we are bewildered by the loud song. We were like deer bewildered by a hunter. This was not an accident, because you knew the power of the flute. So there's actually anger here. You knew the power of the, you knew we would come. Gati vidaha. Or, you are a most sober women. How could you gopis be bewildered by such a flute? By just a flute, sorry. You knew the special meaning of the song. Even the devatas become bewildered. Savana shastad upadarya sureshaha shakra sarva parameshti purogaha kavayan anata kandara chitaha kashmalam yayur anishchita tattvaha. Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and the other chief devatas become confused upon hearing the sound. Although they are the most learned authorities, they cannot ascertain the essence of that music, and thus they bow down their heads and hearts. Or, this is Krishna speaking, you are clever, you know my nature. Why were you not careful? In other words, they know Krishna's the cheater. Because previously, he done all sorts of crazy things, like stealing their clothes, isn't it? You know what I'm like. How could you get cheated again? What is that saying? Once your fault, twice. Yeah, shame on me. So Krishna is actually showing this. Shame on you, gopis. I did all these things, so you know my nature. Yeah, he knows their nature too, but he's saying this is exchange. You know my nature. Why were you not careful? Though you know your nature, we became enchanted by that song, since it is actually some bewitching mantra. They're accusing him of doing black magic, basically. Let that be. What person would reject women whom he has personally brought and in the middle of the night? No one would do this. Therefore, O cheater, would even a cheater reject us? Your behavior shows why everyone calls you a cheater. There's definitely anger there. O Chuta, you do not waver from your nature. You are called this because of your cheating quality. So, all right, a little bit of Sanatana Goswami. This is very wonderful. In spite of all this, what you have done today is most improper. We have ignored the instructions of our mothers, but the same thing. You never. All right, here's another. We came because you never waver from being attracted to your devotees. Achyuta. Wow. Moreover, you know your nature and ours, gati vidaha. Or we know that we are solely dedicated to you, and you know your qualities like fulfilling your promises. Or we know your qualities like compassion. We were bewildered by your song, O cheater, who deviates from his nature. It is improper to give up women frightened in the night. O cheater, who would give up such women? It is not possible even for a cheater to give up women in the night. You are not only crooked, but also ungrateful. Or you are a cheater because you have given up women first attracted by the song for pleasure, standing alone at night. Oh, mischievous women, or women belonging to you, this the cheater. We are cheaters like you, and we know everything about your cheating. Give up trying to cheat us. Your cheating is clear. Now show yourself. Please, show yourself. This is the mood of anger here. You cheater, show yourself. You knew what you were doing. Show yourself. Okay, so we have about 1 minute. Any questions or comments?
They seem to be able to understand his mind very well because they are recognizing that they are cheaters.
Yeah.
So it takes one to know it.
Yeah, it takes one to know it. But this cheating is a loving exchange, just like sometimes people tease and they do other things. This is a loving exchange. It just makes life of the gopis ecstatic because they're angry. This is part of relationship, where there's anger sometimes between people in a relationship, and there's teasing, and there's all these different varieties of emotions arise. No, there's no malice, but it's all these different varieties, like different colors in the spectrum. If you just had one color, just like, love, 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 it'd be boring as anything. Isn't it? It was just like one color, everybody just agrees all the time and everything. Life would be boring. It'd be nice. It'd be boring. It would be boring. Differences of opinion, unity and diversity. That's another point I can get into. Like Prabhupada encouraged the GBC to meet once a year and discuss unity and diversity. But unfortunately, not a criticism of the GBC, but unfortunately many devotees, they just want unity, my way or the highway. But we have to respect others' opinion. And it makes life wonderful. Like Prabhupada said, United Nations of the spiritual world, different colors, Prabhupada said. If you just have one color in a garland, what? It's boring. So Prabhupada was referring to all the different devotees from all over the world with different colored skin, different colored hair, different colored eyes. It's just like a garland with many different colors in it. It's so beautiful. So all these emotions, whether they're anger with no malice, as Krishna Prabhu said, or fear, they're all just centered on Krishna. It makes it just so beautiful, like a drama. A drama without all these different emotions is a boring drama. It's like some of the TV shows from the 1960s. Where quite boring. Jai, all glories to His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radhagolokananda ki Jai.
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Tamaham bhajami Enam kanvanta maravindanalaya taksham Varhavatam samasitam Buddha sundaranam Nandar agom vidamaniya Vishesha shobham
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Antaniyasa
Sakalan
Kriya Kritimanti Asyanti
Pagdikayanti
Chiram
Jalanti
Anangatin Maya Sadhu
Jala
Vigrahasya Govindam
Radhagogananda
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham
Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam. Nitai pada kumala Goti chandra sushi tala Ye chaya jagachura Nitai pada kumala Goti chandra sushi tala Ye chaya jagachura Hey, don't it die, be named by Radha Krishna Payate Trina Kori Daro Tai Die Hey, don't it die, be named by Radha Krishna Payate Trina Kori Daro Tai Say Samananahi Yaga Pritachan Makela Ta Say Pachama Rodurachara Say Samananahi Yaga Pritachan Makela Ta Say Pachama Rodurachara Nitana Bodhino Mukhe Machi love samsara too suke Benjakone Kiyoru Betara Nitana Polino Muke Machi El Samsara Suke Benjakone Kiyoru Betara Angara Matawe Anga Nitai Pada Pasuni Yaga Asachire Sachakurimane Angara Matawe Anga Nitya Koruna Oi babe Rajayana Krishna Boy babe Dano Nitai Charana Jukane Nitya Kirana Satya Dahara Sevakani Jahani Chapada Satakoro Asha Nitya Kirana Satya Narotama Paroduki Nitaimora Suki Rakuranga Charanana Pasha Narotama Paroduki Taimora Korasuki Rakuranga Charanera Pasha Nitya Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushita La Chaya Jagachura Nitya Pada Kamala Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Radha, Harakinananda Radhe. Jai Radha, Harakinananda Radhe. Jai Radhe, 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 Radhe. Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Jai Radhe, Radhe. Shri Radhe. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravidikacharya also Teda Satashi Shimad His Divine Grace Amaya Charana Bhaktivedanta Goswami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sri Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kunda Kiri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavanam Ki Jai Mathuradam Ki Jai Jagadath Swami Ki Jai Yuvanamaya Ki Jai Srimati Tulasi Devi Ki Jai Samveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Gaur Premananda Hari Hari Bol. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is the assembled devotees. All glory is to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Okay. In this material world, which is progressing toward hell, there is always a blazing fire, and everyone is struggling hard without finding peace. Therefore, if the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter under the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, which are cooling like the shining of millions of moons. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, it will be very difficult to approach Radha Krishna. Anyone who does not establish the relationship with Lord Nityananda is simply spoiling their boon of a human birth and the animal propensities of sense gratification. Never saying the names of Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, they become absorbed in so-called material enjoyment, and their academic education and birth in the high family or great nation will not protect them at the time of death. They become maddened by a false concept of bodily life, and thus they have forgotten their eternal relationship with Lord Nityananda. Such forgetful persons accept the illusory energy as factual. When you achieve the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then you will be able to approach Radha Krishna. Firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are not illusion, they are a fact, and anyone who engages in the transcendental loving service of Lord Nityananda immediately achieves the transcendental position on the spiritual platform, which is eternal and blissful. Therefore, always try to catch the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. Narottam Das Thakur says, "My dear Lord Nityananda, I am very unhappy, so I am praying to you to make me happy. Please keep me in a corner of your lotus feet." Jai. Narottam Das Thakur ki jai. I just ask the devotees before Shikshasaka to pray for the welfare of my devotee, the devotee who I mentioned yesterday, who was in the hospital, has left her body. Shama Balabas. She's a very, very dear disciple of mine, and she's the mother of some other disciples of mine. And so her funeral is today, well, tonight, because it's the morning the next day. And so we just pray that she achieves her destination, Krishna's lotus feet. So she passed away because of COVID. So, and we have a lot of devotees with COVID in Fiji right now, but she's the only one with a serious case. So, this is Krishna Sankirtanam Namakari Bauda Nija Sarva Shaktish Tyasmarane Nakala Mamapi Evamidrisham Trinada Pisunichena Karori Vasishnana Anina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadari Janam Sundari Sundari